Hey guys, Ponce here, and today I want to give you guys my initial impressions on Space Hulk Deathwing, the sort of Left 4 Dead-ish, Vermintide kind of like Warhammer 40k game, where you're supposed to be in Terminator armor. Now note, I said this is first impressions, and it's not like a full-on review, so I should be very clear that I only played this for about an hour in the beta. But also keep in mind that after about an hour, I would have played more, but I was sort of like, I've had enough. Time to move on and play something else. So you'll note that the rest of this sort of impression sort of stuff is going to go along in that sort of vein. But in any case, this game will be released on December the 9th, which is next week. Not a lot of time to address some of the issues I'm going to discuss here. Now, why don't we talk about what I found was enjoyable and nice first, I suppose, because it's not a particularly extensive list. So we're going to get that out of the way. I suppose the atmosphere was nice, I guess. I mean, it felt like you're in this derelict Space Hulk thing. It was sort of had a very good 40k-ish rough vibe to it. And the fact that the voiceover stuff was a lot better and less annoying compared to the earlier gameplay trailers I saw. So they apparently just added like sort of these reverb modulation distortion effects to the voices, which made it a lot less annoying and turned the chatter down quite a bit. Well, actually, this is multiplayer, so maybe that turned the chatter down. But in any case, the voice stuff did seem less annoying, so it did give an indication the guys working on this game are able to address issues at a relatively fast pace, I suppose, so that's a good sign. Now, getting into the bad, the game seemed extremely poorly optimized. Now, I realize this is beta, but again, keep in mind it's only in beta very shortly. It's an open beta, and then we're going into release on the 9th here. So, I mean, the game looks all right, as you can see. It looks decent, but it actually lagged my computer, which, while streaming, mind you. And I was streaming eats up a lot of CPU power, but keep in mind, I bought this computer specifically to stream. This is my job, so I made a very hefty investment in it about a year back and bought a very, very nice computer. And it's the only game that has ever caused me FPS lag while streaming. And I've played some prettier games than this one. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but that's not a good sign. Aside from that, the load times were absolutely horrendous. They were in excess of 2 minutes sometimes, and I do not want to be sitting there 2 minutes just looking at this circle going around trying to get into the next mission. I was told that a workaround for this or a solution by someone while I was streaming would be like, put it on a solid state drive. And like, I am not going to put this game and every single other game I own on Steam on a solid state drive to fix an issue that shouldn't be an issue. That's completely ridiculous. Solid state drives are expensive, and you pay a lot per gigabyte, as it were. So yeah, no, this would just work on a regular hard drive fine. So yeah, it's weird. Again, maybe that's the kind of thing that get optimized and be dealt with. But again, there are more issues here. There were kind of weird glitches in game with people getting stuck against walls and stuff. There was a number of crash bugs, or rather, it seemed to be a lot of people crashing. Like, I crashed, which is actually what ended the stream. It was kind of the final straw for me. I was like, all right, no more of this. It had already crashed, so, whatever. I had people on my team crash, which would kick them out of the game, and would be stuck with less people. So, yeah, my teammates are crashing and stuff like that. So that was quite annoying. Generally speaking, sort of the UI and a lot of the elements to the game just feel very rushed. Like, not a release product. And again, these are I have seen a lot of early kind of games and like early builds to games, and they do tend to have this sort of kind of rough feel to it. So I don't understand if it's a very early version of the game, but the thing is, this is again a week out from release, and stuff feels clunky and just rough. I don't have a better way of describing it, really. Now, again, technically, this is all stuff I mentioned is very technical stuff. This can be addressed in post-release patches as well, so this might get better, and I fully expect it to eventually get better. At least I would hope so. But the problem is there stuff that, or rather, what I find far more troubling, is that the core gameplay itself actually didn't feel that good. It was slow, clunky, and just sort of very, very simplistic. Now, the slow and clunky bit, I suppose you can get away with by saying, it's a lore thing. It's, you're in Terminator armor. They're supposed to be slow. But then again, maybe that's the reason no one has ever made an accurate, Terminator combat simulator. Like, it's not a lot of fun when it feels like you're a bathtub with guns attached to it, and you're just kind of very slowly lumbering around. It's just, I'd like to be able to sort of maybe jump a bit and have a slightly more dynamic actions. And like the combat just felt bad as well, where it's kind of these very slow lumbering attacks, and it's basic spam mouse 1 for your attack, and then you trade shots with a bunch of Tyrannid. And there's nothing to it. The guns just kind of felt awkward as well, and there wasn't too much exciting going on there. But again, maybe you could get away with saying that's how Terminator is supposed to be. I don't know. But the thing is, I feel kind of like the lore people, like the crazy lore. I don't mean like normal people who like Warhammer and the lore and whatnot, because I would count myself among them. I really enjoy Warhammer stuff. But then there's this next tier of lore people who get like really, really into it. Like the sort of guys that I suspect go to conventions dressed up in power armor and then like gather around in this big circle jerk chanting about how grimdark and edgy they are. Like these sorts of people who just like flip out when they see a Terminator, or a character in a Terminator or jump or something, and then they like declare a holy crusade against, I don't know, violating the sacred codices or whatever. These sorts of people, I feel like they may have gotten their game here and perhaps will understand the folly of their ways. Perhaps not, though. But again, it's just like it just doesn't feel very interesting playing in this slow, lumbering Terminator guy that has no variety in his attacks. So anyway, I don't really see a way to fix that easily. That's more of a thing that, over the long term they could add systems and more stuff to do, and perhaps that would get better. But actually, when you get down to it, it doesn't even seem all that lore accurate to me. I mean, you just sort of get, I would expect a guy in Terminator armor to be slightly more sturdy than being taken down by, gene stealers with masked stub gun fire and just like getting shredded. It didn't make me feel very, powerful, I suppose. But anyway, those are just sort of my initial, impressions on it. They're really not good, and, maybe this stuff will be addressed by it. And again, I do understand this is technically still beta. I don't think at this stage it's too much of an excuse, but at the same time, it is beta, so I don't want to be that guy who's like, this is a hard review and this is the way it's always going to be and no one will ever find this game fun and etc. Like, there's probably someone out there who would enjoy this, but I felt there were too many issues for me personally, especially, given my personal context where I need the games to be able to function at a certain level for me able to stream and be entertaining for the viewers. I don't think the game was at that state at all. So anyway, maybe one day I could look at it again, but as it stands, I did refund the game. So that's the first time I've ever done that. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry if anyone's been looking forward to this, but I don't. This isn't. I can't put my seal of recommendation on this thing at this point in time. Anyway, see you guys around. Thanks for watching.